Rafik Ahmed was no ordinary man. He was a rickshaw driver, yes, but to those who knew him or even just rode with him once, he was a portrait of dignity. He wore a faded cap, his shirt always neatly pressed even if it was worn thin at the elbows, and his eyes held the dreams of someone far beyond the streets of Lahore. He didn't dream for himself. He dreamed for his daughter, Alina. Alina was the light of his life, his only child, the reason he looked up at the sky every night and whispered, "Thank you, God." Rafik never got the chance to study. His father had passed away when he was just a boy, and life had forced him into labor before he could even spell his own name properly. But he had one wish, that his daughter would go to university, wear that black robe, and hold a degree in her hands while he watched from the front row, tears falling, not from sadness, but pride. So when Alina got admission to a university in Lahore, he was the happiest man alive. He took a photo of the admission letter, laminated it, and kept it in his wallet like a priceless treasure. From that day on, every month, no matter how hot the sun, how heavy the rain, or how tired his old back felt, he worked. Longer hours, fewer meals, no breaks, because now he had a mission. He must pay her tuition, and he did, for 48 months straight. But what Rafik never knew was this. Alina had dropped out during her first semester. She had failed one exam and panicked. She thought she wasn't good enough, that maybe this dream wasn't meant for her. But instead of admitting that to her father, she lied. It wasn't out of arrogance, it was fear. She saw his pride, the way his chest puffed when neighbors asked, "Is Alina going to university?" And she just couldn't bear to break him, so she decided to fake it, just for a little while. Every day, she put on her clean white clothes, slung her university bag over her shoulder, and walked out the door. Her father would often drop her near the university gate, always saying, "Study with your whole heart, my child. I mention your name in every prayer." She would nod, force a smile, and wait for him to leave before turning around and heading to a small cafe 2 blocks away. At first, it was terrifying, the lies, the silence, the guilt, but soon it became routine. The cafe staff got used to her face. She'd spend her mornings pretending to study, flipping through borrowed textbooks, making notes in a diary she hoped no one would ever read. In the afternoons, she'd visit a nearby library and quietly sit in the corner, watching real students walk in with bags full of dreams. She envied them, but more than that, she hated herself. Rafik, meanwhile, began to look older. His cough became more frequent. His fingers cracked from gripping the rickshaw handlebars all day, but he smiled. He smiled every time he paid her fee at the bank, collecting each receipt and filing it in a folder marked Alina, future doctor. That folder was his most precious possession. Then came the letter. One day, while Alina was out, a letter arrived addressed to the parent of Alina, Rafik. It was a university notice, final warning, non-enrollment since first semester. Rafik read it twice. Then again and again. The words didn't change. They cut through him like a blade. She had never been enrolled past her first term. For 4 years she had lied. When Alina walked in that evening, she instantly knew something was wrong. Her father sat silently on the floor, the letter resting on his lap. He looked up at her with tired, red eyes and asked, in a voice so soft it was almost a whisper, "Why couldn't you just tell me?" That's when the dam broke. Alina fell to her knees and sobbed. She confessed everything: the failed exam, the fear, the lies, the guilt. She begged for forgiveness, told him she was going to try again, that she just needed time. But Rafik didn't scream. He didn't hit the wall or raise his voice. He just placed a trembling hand on her head and said, "You had fallen, my child, and I only wanted to lift you, but you never let me come close." That was the last full sentence he ever spoke to her. The next morning, Rafik left the house early as usual, but he didn't return that evening or the next. Neighbors found his rickshaw parked on the side of the road. He was inside, slumped over the seat. Gone, a heart attack, they said. Sudden, quiet, final. Alina couldn't cry that day. She couldn't scream. She just held the folder full of tuition receipts, one for every month he had believed in her, and collapsed. Years passed. She never returned to university, but she did something else. She opened a small school in a nearby alley, offering free education to children of rickshaw drivers, laborers, and widows. On the gate, a hand-painted board reads, "The Rafik Foundation for those who were believed in." And inside her small office, framed behind glass, is a single crumpled paper. The final tuition receipt her father ever paid. It's a reminder that love, when silent, is sometimes the loudest sacrifice of all. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Maybe it'll help them. And if you believe stories like these deserve to be heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to Life Lessons Library. Your one click keeps these stories alive.